Hey guys, let's start with new chapter of Loyalpin Volume 1, Chapter 16, The Tennis Court. Prick's large, deep brown eyes also flickered in disbelief, unable to comprehend that the scene unfolding before her was indeed real. It wasn't merely a dream with a celestial backdrop like the ones her mother used to conjure each night to lull her to sleep during her childhood. For Prick, the vision of the elegant and charming royal cousins, dressed in radiant white sportswear, strolling around the tennis courts with their dark green surface under the brilliant blue sky on such a splendid day, was almost beyond belief. They appeared as exquisite as the heavenly angels depicted in art. "You're so cute today, Prick!" The moment Prick entered the field, Princess Anil rushed over to her, extending her hand to gently pinch her cheek, showing great affection as she turned it from left to right. Princess Anil's behavior caused Prick to anxiously glance back at Lady Pin. Upon noticing that Lady Pin had not paid her any attention, Prick could only breathe a sigh of relief. Prick would know better than anyone that ever since Princess Anil's return, Lady Pelantita's eyes had lost their usual clarity and had instead taken on a somber demeanor whenever she looked at individuals close to Princess Anil, whether it was an intentional or unintentional. So, how could Prick not be fearful of Lady Pin's eyes? "How are the three men and four women going to be matched?" Prick looked around the field while counting her fingers curiously. "Exactly, Prick. I heard that Prince Anon invited another friend over, but it's time now, and I haven't seen anyone arriving yet." Princess Anil hadn't even completed her sentence when a tall, slim, honey skinned young man swiftly approached Princess Anil through the courtyard fence gate. "Surprise, Your Highness!" Princess Anil greeted the honey skinned young man before her with a radiant, white smile, her face beaming with undeniable happiness. "I have been wondering for quite some time about who Prince Anand's friend might be. So it turns out to be you, Pranath. When did you return?" "Just a few days ago, Your Highness. I also attended the Grand Prince's wedding," Pranath replied with a cheerful tone. From Prick's perspective, Prince Anand's friend possessed a genuinely warm, friendly demeanor and was quite amiable. "You did? Why did not I see you?" "I arrived near the end of the event. I inquired about your whereabouts, and the Grand Prince informed me that Your Highness was quite occupied, as you were held back by Princess Alissa to greet numerous relatives," Pranath explained before bursting into laughter, prompting Princess Anil to reminisce about the chaotic night and even shed a tear. Despite being recognized as Prince Anand's friend, Pranath had a closer relationship with Princess Anil than with Prince Anand. This was because he was presently pursuing a master's degree in law at the same university as Princess Anil. Consequently, he was entrusted by Prince Anand to look after the princess during her time in England. Unbeknownst to many, Pranath had become not only a friend but also a mentor to Princess Anil. Their bond grew so strong that eventually Pranath regarded Princess Anil with deep respect, akin to an influential figure within their circle. "I missed you so much," Princess Anil said with a smile. "I missed you as well, Your Majesty, even though it's been less than a week since I last saw your face," Pranath remarked with a smile. However, Prick, who stood between the two of them, couldn't muster a smile. Her gaze shifted toward Lady Pelantita's somber countenance. her eyes fixed on Princess Anil and Pranot. Lady Pin's cloudy, surly eyes are not a surprise, for Prick had already guessed. Strangely, it was Chongfa, who typically wore a constant smile, now appearing so serious that Prick had to sneak another glance just to confirm. It's starting to get late now. Let's start playing. How should we organize the teams? Does Anon have any idea? I've got a plan. Prince Anon responded to Prince Anan, waving his hand back and forth as a signal for everyone to gather beneath the expensive rain tree. We must arrange both men's and women's doubles team and distribute the talent evenly to ensure fairness. The Vice Prince began instructing once everyone had gathered. Prince Anan will be partnered with Lady Vati, Anil with Pranot, Kuakit with Khunpin, and I will team up with Khunyong. Nice pairing, Anon, Prince Anantvat complimented. But when Prick observed the expressions of each of the leaders, she could discern various reactions. Some were so delighted that they couldn't contain their smiles, such as Khun Kua and Pranot. Others frowned in displeasure, like Lady Pelantita, and some maintained a stoic poker face, like Chongfa, whose feelings were inscrutable. However, the only individual who consistently wore a smile on her lips, as though she had received a precious gift, was Princess Anil. Prick discreetly observed her overlord's cunning and sparkling eyes, forming a suspicion in her mind. Such a gaze was undeniably familiar to Prick, the very same look Princess Anil wore whenever she persuaded Prick to engage in mischief or even torment their targets, such as the palace servants, cooks, or the gatekeeper. Prick had a hunch that the victim this time would be Lord Guaket. What's the competition's rule? There will be 2 rounds of competition. In the first round, 4 teams will compete against each other, and only the winning team will advance to the final round. I believe Anon is quite considerate. However, who will face off against whom in the initial round? We should have a mediator. Otherwise, someone might be placed at a disadvantage, Prince Anand remarked thoughtfully. Could Prig be the mediator, dear brother? Princess Anil inquired, her smile accentuating her dimples. Princess Anil's smile may appear charming on the surface, but Prig discerns that her sweet smile at this moment doesn't hold the same allure as it seems. Instead, it was a deviously sweet smile. Of course, but can we trust that Prig will truly remain neutral and not show any favoritism towards Anil? Prince Anand inquired with a smirk. However, let's be realistic. Prick is still unfamiliar with each person's skills. Let Prick make the selection for the sake of fairness. So, who's the first couple to compete? Prince Anand asked Prick in a very enthusiastic voice. At this moment, Prick found it challenging to swallow her saliva. She was aware that every decision she made would undoubtedly influence Princess Anil's action this time. Princess Anil had placed her trust in Prick and assigned her this significant responsibility without specific guidance. How could Prick dare to let down her prince's expectation of her wisdom? The first couple I choose is Princess Anil and Khun Pranot to compete with Lady Pin and Khun Kua's team, Prince Anon. After carefully deliberation, Prick made this decision. Princess Anil smiled proudly at Prick. Primarily, Prick had a clear understanding of whom the princess intended to face and how in the first game. Consequently, she proposed this from the outset, eliminating the need to wait and see whether they would have a chance to encounter each other in the subsequent round. Secondly, if the princess can win in the first game, there will be time to sit to rest and watch the next match to wait for the finals. It is considered that all the things that the princess has taught Brick all her life have been accomplished without any argument today. Let's start the game. Upon hearing this, Princess Anil's face instantly lit up with a broad smile, her excitement impossibly to conceal. She turned around, extended her hand, and playfully, lightly touched Pranot's hand before proceeding to greet their opponents, such as Kuakit and Lady Pen, at the center of the field. Khun Kua, please don't save your skills. Princess Anil, with a smile, addressed the closest governor of her second brother, who was currently bowing his head humbly. I will do my best, Your Majesty. It was during that instant that Lady Pelantita briefly locked eyes with Princess Anil before instinctively lowering her head, as she typically did, unsure of how to respond. She couldn't grasp why, at that very moment, she felt a sense of unease, as though a somber mist had enveloped her body, even under the clear sky. After tossing the coin, Prince Anand then signals towards Princess Anil's side and Pranot to serve. Chongfa fixed her gaze upon Princess Anil's tall and slender figure, which stood prominently at the far end of the field, getting ready to serve the first ball of the game. Princess Anil momentarily lowered her head, examining the tennis ball that had bounced on the ground before executing a high toss and then swinging to strike the ball as close as she could to Khun Kua's toes. Serve ace Anil on points. Prince Anand announced the score with a loud voice, while Kuakat had a pale expression on his face. He was still shocked by Princess Anil's strong and fast serve